But let's turn the spotlight from gap years on to SchoolFinder. And I'm curious for you. You went on this journey. You've seen so many things, and then you ended up here at SchoolFinder. So, in your opinion, what makes SchoolFinder such an invaluable resource for students or for young people who are on that journey, kind of through post-secondary?
Sure. So I'll freely admit I didn't know about SchoolFinder when I was researching the couple of different schools that I went to. Kind of wish that I had done, but alas. The biggest sort of thrill for me, the most compelling part, was very early in my tenure. My boss told me, Logan, you work for the student, right? You don't work for me. You don't work for advertisers or clients. You work for the student. And that has been my mandate ever since, trying to come up with material that is going to interest students, our readers, our audience, right? Trying to answer the questions that they have that can be tricky to find the answers to. Maybe they're in Google, but they're buried on the third search results page, right? So nobody can find that. Well, we have the mandate to do that digging, do that research, and provide the answers that students need. Maybe even questions you don't know you have. So the mandate of explicitly being here to help students first and foremost, that is my main objective. That has been really compelling, and it's helped to kind of keep me honest too in my approach to what do students need to read right now, what do they need to know.
I love that. And I think what you were saying about how some information can be buried. I think the internet is a wonderful thing. We get access to all this information, but it is not curated for us. Like I can't jump on Google and say best school for Michelle to go to for writing, and Google will just automatically do all the work for me and spit out an answer. Like that's what we hope when we think about Google. But really, the information is a little bit everywhere. There's so much, it can be very overwhelming. And sometimes when we're making our first attempt into post secondary or our second or our third, we don't know what questions to be asking because we've never done it before, or we've never done it this way, or we've never done it in a pandemic, or we've never done it with X, Y, and Z qualifications. And so to be able to have a resource that exists that helps with that, that gives us that space without going into that Google spiral where we end up seeing so many things that are irrelevant and then just shutting down. So SchoolFinder is a great place that curates a lot of that for us and gives us what we need rather than all of the junk that's out there on the internet.
Yeah, I appreciate the framing as curation because that's exactly it, right? The material is out there. We have a team of freelancers who work very hard and pretty much around the clock, it seems, to be pulling that information together so that it's in a sort of a neutral source and is able to be compared like for like, right? It may not be perfect gala apple to gala apple, but at least it's a Fuji in a gala, right? There's no oranges in there. So we do our best to pull that information together, make it easy to compare, and yeah, maybe it's not as easy as best school for me, but you'll have that intel to piece that puzzle together for yourself.
I love that. So, what can students find on the website? So, if they were to go there, what were some things that maybe they could be looking for when they come across the site?
Sure. So the profiles are sort of the big selling point, I guess. Any school you can think of, generally college, university, post grad level, some high school as well. But mostly post-secondary schools, they'll each have a profile, and it's almost like a dating app if you think of it that way, right? Here's a little bit about me. Maybe I'm the right fit for you if you type of material, right? Lots of students, few students, types of programs available, scholarships to support those programs. On campus living, how much per bed? What are the fees for the bus pass? Et cetera, et cetera. The type of questions that you probably don't even have till you see that info. It's all there. But really, the magic of the site is setting up your own profile. You can get matched to something that fits you. So if you do say you're interested in writing, maybe you live in BC and you're looking for somewhere on the lower mainland, you can sort of key that stuff in and the system will throw out a few suggestions for you. So, whatever school meets that criteria, it'll pop up for you and you can then compare them directly and so on. I think that's the main sort of draw. There are career profiles as well. There's a ton of articles. If you've got questions like how to apply to law school, or what are my OSAP payments due, like that kind of stuff is covered as well. But I think the main draw for students is the profile, the programs, and getting matched to either of those.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. I think sometimes we don't know all of the options that are before us, and sifting through that can take hours or days, or just so overwhelming that we just say no altogether. Just apply to whatever the university that or college that's closest to us is, and just go from there.
Yeah.
So using these tools, you can really make a better decision, make a more informed decision, and that's what we find with our gap students is that they have a little bit more time and space. They can make better choices. They know themselves a little bit better, so that when they are saying what they're interested in, they can be a little bit more accurate in that. And so SchoolFinder can then spit out the accurate counter, or complement, I guess I should say, to what they're interested in, and knowing whether you want to be at a big school or a small school. All that stuff kind of bubbles up as you do a little bit of self exploration. So being able to give the right information in will get the right information out, and you can find the right programs and schools for you. So it's a gap years and SchoolFinder is a marriage made in heaven.